Hey, sunshine. Hey, boo. It's Malika Lee, your girl, host of Answering the Inner Call. I mentioned in a previous episode, if you haven't peeped it already, please check it out. I'm talking about Harriet Tubman. It's the episode I'm talking about Harriet Tubman and Warriors of Heart. I did one on her, and Dr. King was another separate episode, modeling the masculine and feminine energy and how we need them both to fulfill what God would have us do and to fulfill our life's purpose and work to the best of our ability. So, what I wanted to talk about today, I have this whole foundational, like the 5-pointed star. In each aspect of the star, there's a step. And the step I want to talk about today is rest, or it could also be called surrender. I'm still coming up with an acronym that's catchy for the 5 points of the star, so we'll see which one I land on. But I didn't want to have that delay. If you've heard the mess in progress, you already know you got to keep the train going when the energy flows, letting it go versus my ego wants perfection. My ego is attached to what other people may think. My ego is attached to this being polished, and my heart and my soul is just like, girl, put it out there. The energy is here. It's to be shared, to touch people, all that good stuff. That being said, moving right along, talking about rest. So if you're not familiar with the Harriet Tubman story and her life and experience and service, I encourage you to check that out, or at least listen to the episode where I talk about her. In that episode, I'm not going to, of course, detail her whole life, but the short story is she got a lot of shit done in her life. Let me just say that. She got a lot of shit done. When I talk about a lot of shit done, we're talking about probably, put over easily thousands of miles on her feet, on her person, going back and forth between the North and South as a conductor of the Underground Railroad, bringing people from the South to the North that wanted to be free, enslaved human beings. That being said, she did experience a major brain trauma, and I'm not going to get into that because I want to get to this story. But what the brain trauma caused her to have is these sleeping spells where she might be even in the middle of the sentence, and what we would call she'd pass out. Although it seems like she wouldn't like fall over. I don't know how that part played out, but I'm likening that to rest for a couple of reasons. So in this 5-pointed star, it has both masculine and feminine elements and attributes, and rest is considered a feminine element and attribute. So because she had this brain experience or trauma, physical trauma, she did not have necessarily control of when she would involuntarily rest, I'll put it that way, or pass out, right? Kind of like people who, let's say, deal with, was it narcolepsy, where they just will fall into slumber. So there's a story that I came across, and the importance of rest. The importance of rest, and going back to the feminine, how we don't value things that are considered feminine energy, but we need them so much. So anyway, she had this vision that she was supposed to get this money from this, I don't know if he's the abolitionist, but I know he had like a store, some type of store, right, or office. And she had a vision, or, had that inner call that she was supposed to go there and get money from him, $20, or get money, $20. So she goes and she tells the guy, he's like, okay, why are you here? And she's like, I'm here to get $20. And he's like, well, I don't have that money for you. I don't know why you're here or what you thought, but you're sadly mistaken. And she, confidence, determination, conviction. Ooh, that's a good one. I don't know if conviction is masculine or feminine. Tell me what y'all think. I think conviction probably might be more on the masculine side, but her conviction. She said she knew what she had, she knew what she got, and she wasn't leaving. So she got her money. I think it was $20. I'm not going nowhere, boo-boo, until I gets my money. Oh shoot, I forgot to do an opening song. Wait. Money, 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 money. Okay, now back to the story. So she sits in his office saying she's not going nowhere, boo, until I get to my money. I know what I saw. I know what God told me, and I'm not leaving. Hey, y'all, real quick, before we go on in this episode, I just want to put out there, I've been getting a call personally to offer an intimate group founders club at the beginning of next year, probably after Martin Luther King Day, starting up sometime in January, maybe early February at the latest, to support a cohort of people just to come together to get support of answering those calls. You may already know what that inner call is that you haven't taken action in, or maybe you've taken some action but need some support, or you may have no clue, but this is just something that speaks to you. Like, I'm getting this feeling, this nudge, I need help with clarifying what is this inner call. In calls, plural, unfolding and available to me right now. So if this is you, if this speaks to you, I want to put out there, please, I have in the description, schedule a 35-minute conversation. It'll be no video, just audio, just to have a conversation to see if we're a good fit for each other, if this program is a good fit for you at this particular time. And if you're ready to do something different to get different results, to receive support, maybe receiving support or asking for help is a challenge and you've been trying to do things on your own. I have some of that in some areas of my life. How is that going for you? Is the outcome of 2023 the way that you hoped and the way that you expected? Have you made progress? If not, then you got to do something different, boo. And that's what this invitation is, a call for you right now. Do something different. And you can do that by clicking the link in the bio and scheduling a 35-minute conversation. And so she sat and she stayed and waited. And she, like I said, she would have these involuntary slumbers. And so at some point while she's waiting in the office, she goes into one of these slumbers or spells of like unconsciousness. And as the story goes in this book, this is her biography that she was interviewed for. She, at some point, comes out of her slumber. Who knows how long she had been in that office. And while she was in slumber, when people were coming in and out of that office, there was discussion about who this woman was that was sitting in this office, right, sleeping, or in this area sleeping. And the story got out about who she was and how she had been of great service to her people and has been, a notable conductor on the Underground Railroad. And I'm sure probably even the message of how she had come there for some money got out or was shared amongst the people. So when she came out of her slumber, y'all, she had $60. She had $60 on her person, 3 times the amount of which she had come for her trip. And on that particular trip, it was to go down and to bring her mother and her father up north to freedom. The timing of that, I could go into a whole other thing that I'll save that for another episode. But what I'm bringing out here and what really struck me is the importance of rest and surrender. That is faith. As much faith as it took the conviction to take that action on that inner call and to do her part, she showed up. She went where she was supposed to go, where she got directed to go. And then guess what she had to do? She had to rest. She had to wait. She had to trust. And just as the action part of answering the call was there, and that's the masculine exemplified in her showing up, the feminine showed up when she rested. Both take faith. To be still, that can be so uncomfortable. I just got a lesson about being too doggone busy today, honey. Self-sabotage myself out of some money. Doing too much because I didn't know how to rest, how to be still, how to trust. That anxiety and needing to do something, that inner itch. And so I just wanted to share that story of how powerful and necessary it is to rest, to surrender, to be still, that feminine attribute of faith, to be still. And I encourage you now, if you don't do this already, but even if you can find 5 minutes out your day to just rest and be still. And it's going to be uncomfortable. If you haven't done any meditation, you'll come across that monkey mind. I'll get into some more of my practices in another, future episodes. But that monkey mind will show up, and then you're like, ooh, did I turn off the oven? Ooh, did I do, it'll keep you busy and try to get you out of that stillness. Trust me, that's normal. That's part of the process. But that stillness and rest is so, so, so important in our journey. And I hope that this story of her stillness, and yet it was still super productive, and she's not the only one. Albert Einstein comes to mind. I'll have to do another episode on him. He was known for accessing that part of his beyond mind, right, of receiving inspiration beyond himself through taking, I forgot what they're called, but I'm going to call them like these intermittent naps. And ideas would come. Feminine energy, receiving, being still, trusting. Woo! Could be uncomfortable, I know. But I'm going to leave you with that word for today. To rest, to be still, even if you can only muster a minute, 2 minutes. Just as a show of its importance. I encourage you to do that. And if this touched you in some way, if this spoke to you, please share it with someone. Have a conversation about it. And that's all I ask. Much love. Until the next time. Peace. Blessings. Money, 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 money. Money.